Hello students. Today we will discuss about dielectric and capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor when a dielectric slab is introduced between the two plates. Now dielectrics are nothing but insulators only. When insulators are placed in a strong electric field, what will happen? The electrons, the valence electrons, I know they will not be able to detach from their atom and they can move freely from one direction to another, but they can show some slight movements, and because of that slight movements they show some electrical properties, and because of that electrical properties the insulators are only known as what? Dielectrics. So dielectrics are nothing but they're insulators only, but when they show some electrical properties, instead of calling them insulator we call them what? Dielectrics. Once again, so generally a non-conducting medium or insulator is called what? A dielectric. The non-conducting material in which induced charges are produced on their faces on the application of electric field are called dielectrics. Suppose this is positively charged, this is negatively charged, and this is what? An insulator. Insulator is placed over here. Now because of this electric field, because this is positively charged, this is negatively charged, an electric field will set up. Now being positively charged, here negative charge will induce, and here negative charge is there, so here positive charge will induce. It means what? Induced charges are produced in their faces on the application of electric field. So in this particular case, instead of calling it an insulator, we will call it what? As a dielectric. So I think things are clear. One second. Okay. Example: air, hydrogen, glass, mica, paraffin, wax, transformer, oil, etc. They all are what? Dielectrics. Polarization of dielectrics. Now what is polarization of dielectrics? So in the presence of an external field, if a net dipole moment is developed in that particular dielectric, that is known as what? Polarization of the dielectric. Wait, I'll explain. When a non-polar dielectric slab, non-polar molecules we have discussed. Okay, so if non-polar dielectric is also clear. So when a non-polar dielectric slab is subjected to an electric field, dipoles are induced due to separation of effective and positive and negative centers that we have already seen in the previous slide. You can clearly see over here, it is a dielectric. E is equals to 0, nothing is there. Now an external electric field is applied. This is positively charged, this is negatively charged. E0 denotes what? An external electric field whose direction will be from this plate to this plate, as it is positively charged, as it is negatively charged. You just pay attention that in the absence of electric field, what was the scenario, and as the electric field is applied, how they have changed themselves. Once again, initially your dielectric is like this. These are the molecules, symmetrical in shape, and no dipole is there, no dipole moment is there, and positive and negative charges, they coincide with each other, and everything is symmetrical, as you can see clearly in this picture. But as the electric field is applied, see the changes. Now this positive and negative charge, they are separated. A dipole moment is induced. And why this dipole moment is induced? Because we have applied an external electric field. So this dipole moment, this development of dipole moment on the application of an electric field is known as what? Polarization of dielectrics. I think this is clear. So what is E0? E0 is the external electric field. Now the thing is that this negative charge will remain bound to this positive charge. They will have force of attraction. So this negative charge will be bounded by this positively charged plate, and this side, if you will see, as it is negatively charged plate, so this positive charge will remain bound to this negatively charged plate. But if you will see this scenario in the interior part, this is positive this is negative, they will cancel out each other. This is positive, this is negative, again they will cancel out each other. So there will be cancellation of charges over here. So nothing will be there, it will be neutral. No charge will be there because they cancel each other. The charge will be here on this face, and the positive charge will be here on this face, and inside there will be no charge. So a net negative charge is developed on this face, a net positive charge is developed on this face. Being positive and being negative, an electric field will be induced, and that electric field will be termed as what? EP, because it is developed because of polarization. So that's why P is used over here, and its direction will be from this to this, or we can say that the direction of EP will be opposite to direction of E0. We can easily see. Now the thing is that E0 is the electric field, external electric field, and EP is the induced electric field. What will be the net electric field in the dielectric? Actually EP will be less than E0. I think it is clear, because EP is only due to these charges and these charges, because all these charges are cancelled out. So EP is less than E0. So the net electric field inside the dielectric will be E0 minus EP. I think this is clear. So E0 is the applied field and EP is the induced field in the dielectric. I think this thing is clear. Once again. So the net electric field, En represents what? Net electric field inside the dielectric will be how much? E0 minus EP. E0 is bigger than EP, and why we are using this negative sign? Because their direction is opposite. So the net electric field will be E0 minus EP. So the field is reduced when a dielectric slab is introduced. So what we can say that initially, suppose no dielectric is there. So what was the field? E0. But as this dielectric is induced, now what is the field? E0 minus EP. So what we can say that the field is reduced when a dielectric slab is introduced between the two plates. Now dielectric constant, if we talk about what is dielectric constant, and actually we have already discussed this thing in chapter number 1, that what is a dielectric constant. It is represented by what? K. And how it is defined? It is E0 upon E0 minus EP. What is E0? The applied electric field. And what is E0 minus EP? The net electric field. So the ratio of the applied field to the net electric field gives you what? The dielectric constant. Next we have polarization vector. Polarization we have already discussed, that when the dipole moment is induced in dielectric, when an external electric field is applied, that is known as what? Polarization. If we talk about polarization vector, we take here volume in consideration. We say that the dipole moment developed per unit volume of the dielectric is known as what? Polarization vector. So that's what is written over here. Polarization vector, it measures the degree of polarization of the dielectric, and it is defined as the dipole moment of that unit volume of the polarized dielectric. So it is nothing, it is the induced dipole moment per unit volume of the dielectric is known as what? Polarization vector. And here it is written that if n is the number of atoms of or molecules per unit volume, then polarization vector will be represented by what? P is equals to n into P. See, actually it is P is equals to P upon volume. And if we are talking about unit volume, that V will become 1. And if n number of atoms or molecules will be there, we will multiply it. So this capital P denotes what? Polarization vector. And this small p denotes what? Induced dipole moment. So I think this is clear. So SI unit of polarization vector will be how much? Coulomb per meter square. How coulomb per meter square? Wait. Okay. What we are saying that, what is P? It is dipole moment per unit volume. Fine. What is the SI unit of dipole moment? It is Coulomb meter. What is the SI unit of volume? Meter cube. So this 1 meter and this 1 meter from the denominator will get cancelled. It will become what? Square. And when this meter square will go in numerator, it will become what? Coulomb meter inverse 2. So I think this is clear. Okay. Dielectric strength. Now this is something very important. See, how we can define it, that the maximum electric field that can exist in a dielectric without causing the breakdown of its insulating property is known as what? Dielectric strength. It means what? See, when a dielectric is placed in a very high electric field, its outer electrons may get detached from their parent atoms. Okay, so when these electrons are detached from the parent atoms, what will happen? This dielectric will somehow behaves like a conductor. So this is known as what? Breakdown. The stage at which your dielectric start behaving like a conductor is known as what? Breakdown. And the maximum electric field which is required to cause this breakdown is known as what? Dielectric strength. Like suppose here Pyrex is written 14. That what is the dielectric strength of Pyrex? It is 14. It means what? If the we can say that if the electric field, suppose if the electric field is below 14 kilovolt per mm, this Pyrex will not behave like a conductor. But if it is beyond 14, then it will behave like a conductor. It means what is the dielectric strength of Pyrex? It is 14. Similarly, if we talk about mica, the dielectric strength of mica is 160 to 200. But if we are applying electric field which is less than 160, so in that case mica will behave like an insulator only. But as we have reached this range 160 to 200, in that case mica will behave like what? A conductor. So in this range it will cause that breakdown and it will start behaving like what? A conductor. So I think dielectric strength is clear. Once again, so it is the maximum value of the electric field intensity that can be applied to the dielectric without its electric breakdown. Okay, till this particular value also your dielectric will behave like an insulator only, but beyond this it will behave like what? A conductor. So this is the maximum value of the electric field intensity that can be applied to the dielectric without its electric breakdown. So here you can see that for vacuum it is infinity. How much electric field is required for vacuum? There is no value, it is infinity, because vacuum means what? Nothing. No molecules, no atoms, nothing. So the value of dielectric strength for vacuum will be infinity. Please remember it. Its unit will be volt per meter. Volt per meter means what? Actually, it is what it is written over here. Dielectric strength is the maximum value of the electric field intensity. It is electric field intensity only. And we know the SI unit of electric field intensity, it is volt per meter. So that's why it will also have the same unit. Its practical unit is kilovolt per millimeter. Our next topic is capacitance of parallel plate capacitor with dielectric slab. We have discussed the derivation of capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, but this time when a dielectric slab is introduced between the two plates, that then what will be the changes? What change we will have in the expression of capacitance, that only we need to discuss. So here we are having two plates. This one is positively charged and this one is negatively charged. In between these two plates an electric field will set up. That will be E0. Its direction will be like this from top to bottom. This is dielectric slab. Its thickness is T and D is the distance between these two plates. We have already discussed this thing, that when a dielectric slab is placed in the presence of an electric field, polarization will take place and then there will be induced electric field EP in the direction opposite to E0. Then the net electric field inside the dielectric slab will be how much? It will be E0 minus EP in this direction, because E0 is greater than EP. Now we know this thing, V is equals to, okay fine, let me explain it to you. Actually a very simple formula they have used. We know this expression, V is equals to E into D. Okay, now here we are having two electric fields, E0 and En. Now E0, for E0 we will talk about this space and this space, because inside the dielectric slab electric field is En. So when we are talking about E0 we will not talk about dielectric slab. We will talk about this region and this region. So for E0 what will be D? It will be D minus T. We have to exclude this region. So that's why what it is written over here, E0 into D minus T. plus one more electric field we are having, which is inside the dielectric slab, and it is how much? En. And En is inside the dielectric slab, and what is the thickness of this dielectric slab? It is T. So here you will have what? En into T. So that's why we have used this formula, but the expression will go like this because we are talking here about two electric fields. So I think this is clear. Okay. Now, dielectric constant we have already discussed. It is the ratio of the applied electric field to the net electric field. That's what is written over here. K is equals to E0 upon En. Or we can say that from here we can write it for En as well. So it will be E0 upon K. So that only is written over here. Now, in place of En, we can write E0 upon K. So in this expression, in place of En, E0 upon K is written. Now E0 could be taken as common. So E0 is taken as common. So now we are having this expression. So this is V. We know this thing. What is E0? E0, that is the electric field between two charged sheet. It is how much? Sigma upon epsilon naught, which we have already derived in chapter number 1. It is epsilon naught. Actually a mistake is over here. It is not properly visible. So it is sigma upon epsilon naught. In place of sigma, what we can write? Q upon A. So that's why here it is written E0 is equals to Q upon A epsilon naught. Now, we know one more thing. What is C? C is equals to Q upon V. Now in next step, what they did, actually directly they have written. So I think it will be difficult for you people to understand. So from here I'll explain. C is equals to Q upon V. C is equals to weight. Okay. C is equals to. Now Q we may write as it is. Okay. In place of V, I can write this. But in place of E0, I can write this. So it will be Q upon epsilon naught A, and bracket term as it is. I am not writing. I think this will be clear that the terms which are in bracket will remain as it is. Okay. Now this Q and this Q will get cancelled. Now this epsilon naught and A will go in numerator. So finally what you will have, C is equals to epsilon naught A upon the bracket wala term will come as it is. So that's why this is written directly. So I think this is clear now that how we have derived this. Okay, just a second. Now, the thing is that now suppose if D is equals to T, it means what? Or we can say that T is equals to D. If T, one second. If T equals to D, it means what? If the dielectric slab fills the entire space between the plates, then T is equals to D. In this condition, what will happen? If you will substitute here in place of T, if you will write D, then this expression will change like this. It will be C is equals to A epsilon naught upon. Now, here in place of T, if you will write D, D minus D will become what? 0. In place of T, what you're supposed to write? D. So it will be D upon K. So this K will go in numerator. Now, what is this A epsilon naught upon D? It is capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, if you remember. So what we can write, C is equals to C0 into K. Or we can say that C equals to KC0. I think this is clear. So we can say that the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor increases K times when its entire space is filled with dielectric medium. Initially it was C0 when no dielectric medium is there, but when a dielectric medium or a dielectric slab is introduced between the two plates, its capacitance will increase by K times. So what we can say that, I think this is clear. So that's what is written over here. C is greater than C0. That is, capacitance increases with introduction to dielectric slab. I think this is clear to everyone. Or now one more thing I just want to tell you. One second. We have seen that C is equals to KC0. We can write one more thing. K is equals to C upon C0. So one more definition we can have for dielectric constant. So we can say that it is the ratio of capacitance with the dielectric between two plates to the capacitance with vacuum between two plates. So what is dielectric constant? It is the ratio of capacitance with dielectric between them with capacitance when vacuum is there between them. So this is another definition of dielectric constant. I hope this is clear. Okay. So that only they have written. C is equals to KC0. Or we can say that K is equals to C upon C0. So dielectric constant of a dielectric medium may be defined as the ratio of the capacitance of a capacitor completely filled with that material to the capacitance of the same capacitor with vacuum between the plates. So I hope this topic is clear, that how the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor increases when we introduce dielectric slab between the two plates.